Oh, and of course I'm going to start the show off with dead air and an echo. Welcome to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. I'm Big Daddy Gonzo. Wait, I've got a graphic for that, extra special. I'm on the keys tonight. I get it because our producer Bo, he found a better paying gig. It's as simple as that. I can't begrudge him his better paying gig. I can't tell him no, don't go. But I pay him well, and it's something that's in his field. So it would be really nice. But seated across from me, as always, ready, and I've got to hold him back. I've got to hose him off every 15 minutes because he's got a big rant coming up with the walk-off at the end of the show. Welcome, of course, the Dumbass.
Hello.
Dumbass. You got to get Dumbass in there because it's not really the.
It's
or
duh.
It's
no, it's
duh.
duh. It's duh.
It's
Capital
duh.
D.
Spelled like that.
Small A.
There you go. Well, no,
big
you're
A?
all caps.
You're all caps.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're all caps.
That's fine.
You're all caps. And
how are you?
For some strange reason, you managed to get out of the center of the shot.
How are you today?
Scoot over to the right a little bit.
How are you? How are you today?
Yeah, not bad. You're a little more centered, but you can say hi to the people. In the
Hi.
Is
that
hi.
better?
Hello. Hi. Yeah, for some strange reason,
This is our first time.
It moved. Yes, it's not our first time.
Yeah.
Adjust your microphone.
Yes.
So we got a bit to unpack here, as I'm the guy that gets to do all the cutting and everything. Bang! I'm not the Maz though. I'm really not.
No, you're not.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this. I'm almost out of practice. Lot to get to. There's been some retirements.
One really important one.
There's the NCAA tournament. That's been getting silly. Especially, and I'll grouse about that right after we get to the first story. But then later on, we're going to talk about the return of baseball. Yay!
2 days.
You are.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah. 7 months of joy.
Well, technically, we've already had the first 2 games.
Yeah, in Tokyo.
3 games or 2 games? The Seattle.
I think it was a pair.
The Japan series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how was that? That was a really nice tribute to Ichiro.
Yeah.
Walking off in the 8th inning, 9th inning, something like that, and the crowd went bananas for him. Yeah. Got a little misty-eyed.
Good for him.
A little choked up.
Amazing career. The greatest thing about that is when he's finished, he can leave the stadium and go find any restaurant in town and have a great meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah, for free.
For free. He don't pay for food.
For free.
For free. Thank you. Thank you very much.
For free.
So, I mean, let's get right to it. I mean, I'm.
Well, the most important retirement that we heard today, of course, Jeremy Maclin.
It's definitely definitely Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah, I mean, his wife's having a baby. He's done. He's calling it quits.
Now, he played for 4 teams or 3 teams. You got the Eagles,
4 teams,
the
I
Chiefs.
believe.
He followed what's his face, his coach over there to the Chiefs. Andy Reid followed Andy Reid to the Chiefs. Didn't work out too well.
No.
And then he finished his career actually the last couple of years in Baltimore with the Ravens.
So it was 3 teams, I believe.
Yes.
Again,
3.
teasing the whole retirement with Maclin. Just quickly, a serviceable career. I mean, he may have a title in that run somewhere, maybe, I'm thinking. Maybe with the Ravens when he was there?
No, not with the Ravens.
No in 10?
No, not the Ravens. I don't think so.
I'm not sure then. I'll have to go back and check and see, but the important thing was, of course, not Macklin's retirement. It was the other guy in New England.
What, did Brady retire?
No. The other guy. The other guy.
Don't tease me.
The real funny-looking guy.
Oh, you mean this guy?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, the Gronk.
That's him.
El Gronko. El Gronk has retired. Now, this is a guy who has had a 9-year career.
Yes.
Okay, 9 whole years. And a lot of it has been on the injured list.
Some of it, for sure.
Big old strong boy, 6'7", 260 pounds, 270 pounds. And he disgusts me because he's got 10% body fat. He's definitely the leanest Polish guy you've ever seen. Not a lot of beer, not a lot of kielbasa.
No, he's got good metabolism apparently with all the drinking he does.
He got that tabolism.
All right, let's discuss career. He's finished for now.
Do we have to discuss careers?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's go ahead and do it. Do you think he's Hall of Fame worthy? That's going to be the argument now. Is he Hall of Fame worthy?
Oh, so you want to go ahead and pick this fight right now?
No, I mean it's not. I'm not sure what side I'm on. Honestly, it's not.
I know what side I'm on.
Okay, go.
I believe he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame by virtue of the fact that, given a longer and more involved career, he would probably have numbers that would be unattainable, unreachable, quite frankly. he would probably have numbers that would be so off the charts that he would be a first ballot guy. But now there's some hemming and hawing, a la let's say like a guy like Davis, Terrell Davis in Denver, which he had a 7-year career, 6-year career, but his stats were so prolific. You couldn't keep him out. He was a 6th year, though. He didn't get it on his first ballot,
right?
But he got it in his 6th year.
All right. Well, if you're going to base your argument on what he may have done over a career he never finished, I don't know. Here's my take: great player, clutch. If there's such a term in sports, it's thrown around a lot. Let me throw some career numbers at you, and then you can decide maybe just based on numbers. He played 115 games in his career. He's got over 500 receptions, 79 touchdowns in 115 games.
A lot of touchdowns.
That's a huge number. That's about 3/4 of a touchdown per game if you average it out. That's a huge number. And in his playoff career, he played 16 games, which is essentially a season. And during that time, he had 12 touchdowns. So in another 16-game span for his playoffs, he got 12 touchdowns. So again, those are just the numbers. Those alone, are they Hall of Fame worthy? I mean, possibly.
Don't forget 3 Super Bowl rings.
Well, again, that's important. He's got 2 rings. He's been to 4 Super Bowls. He's got 2 titles. But here's some comparisons. Here's some guys that are not in the Hall of Fame. The guy named Shannon Sharp got the same 2 rings.
Who belongs in the? When we were doing the prep for this, I was like, "Are you?"
Yeah, it's not fair. He has 2 rings as well, and he has it in 2 trips with 2 different teams.
2 different teams.
Yeah. Here's some of his numbers. Now, again, remembering Gronk played 115 games. Sharp, 165 games, nearly 10,000 yards. He's got 815 catches. Touchdowns, he's not as many as Gronk. He's got 60-something touchdowns. But again, just played longer, got the 2 rings, more durability, had a longer career, put up better numbers, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Now, one more guy. There's a guy that's still playing the game. Definitely agreeable. First-time Hall of Fame ballot. Antonio Gates, listen to some of these numbers. 190 games played. Now remember, Sharp's got, 156 games or so?
Right.
Compared to Gronk's 115 games.
That's 3 more whole seasons worth.
955 catches over his career. Now how about this touchdowns? 116 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a tight end who's in the all-time receiving list.
Now, listen, I'm not trying to draw direct comparisons from Gronkowski to Gates. But what I am saying is that be careful when people are clearly saying that Gronkowski's first ballot. Had a great career, played in a storied franchise. I think that these are all things that will help him. Part of a dynasty. He's part of the story. So to be part of the story, you have to kind of complete the circle. And I think when you look at Hall of Fame for the Patriots, I think you're looking at Brady, clearly. You're looking at Belichick, clearly. Maybe Randy Moss, who was part of it. Now, necessarily not because he was a Patriot, but he's somewhat in that circle.
Yeah,
what other players can you think of that are within that Patriot? I'm sure some of the linemen, that were there a long time. What's his name from Harvard? That was the center there for a long time. I forget, or maybe
it was like Hockenstein or something.
I don't know. I forget. But they've got offensive linemen that have been dinosaurs.
Not big on New England Patriots, but
But what I'm saying is that to close that circle, I don't think you leave a guy like Gronkowski out. So, again, that's more positive side of him. On stats alone, I don't think he gets in. But with the rest of the exemplary stuff that's tied in with the Patriots and what they've done as an organization, I think that takes him over the edge.
Right. Well, and you're also looking at other guys, like I said, like Terrell Davis, like Gale Sayers. Look at Gale Sayers. What did he have, 8 seasons?
Yeah.
8 seasons.
Yeah, but dominant seasons.
Yeah, he's really, he was a guy who you couldn't get a hand on.
Yeah.
He wasn't a small dude, and he was faster than hell, and he was very elusive, understandable. But for him to have the prolific numbers that he had in a short period of time, and it pains me because I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. I've seen Rob Gronkowski play 7 times.
He seemed to have put up some big games in big spots.
Yeah.
Big catches at the right time.
Playoffs and Super Bowl.
Well, again, the playoff stats I gave you, basically if you, spread it out over the entire season, he played 16 playoff games.
Right.
He had 12 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards. So, that's a full season's worth of yum, if you're a tight end. Those are huge numbers. So,
that's
and that's at the biggest time. That's in playoffs.
it's an entire season added on to your statistics easily.
Now, with some recency bias with the injuries and such, and maybe we can kind of see that translation take place from him to go from sports to whatever his next ventures are.
The WWE.
Yeah, whatever it is, you tend to kind of want to start to beat on a little bit from a football perspective.
Well, listen, it's Monday night, all right? It's Monday night, and there's a really, really good chance that Rob Gronkowski could be on Monday Night Raw tonight.
There's a chance, sure.
It's rumored. It's teased.
Yeah, listen, he's going to be
in
good.
His hometown.
He's going to be good, obviously, at whatever he does. But you know what? All right, real quick about the thing about him. This is the problem with Gronk. You could clearly say that the dude's naturally a beast, right? Now, maybe he's at the point in his career, obviously he's done with football. He doesn't want to have to push it to the next level. When you started your argument about, well, what have happened if he had played 3 more years, 5 more years? What do you think is stopping him from playing 3 or 5 more years?
Well, I've kind of belabored this subject to death, just because it's out there. There's 2 big stories in the news and overall news. One of them is the Mueller report dropping, and the other one is Gronkowski.
That's
Gronkowski calling it quits, retiring.
Yeah.
And of the 2 that I want to stomach more, it would have to be the Gronkowski story, which tells you a lot. But he has stated repeatedly that the process of getting his body ready, he's not having fun doing it anymore. And people don't understand what you have to go through, and and people want you to be Gronk on Tuesday. Okay, and you're hurt. You're still hurting. You're dying. You're sore. You're beat up.
I have heard that argument over the years from many athletes.
Sure,
but why don't
it's legit.
But why don't you hear that same argument from the athletes that put in the work, that put in the time, that don't have 8-year careers, they have 12-year careers, that seem to be able to, at least with the eyeball test, go out on top? Who is not okay then? So this is my point exactly. I'm not questioning his character. I don't know the man. But paint me a picture, and I'm starting with a red cup and an alcoholic beverage. Yeah. And to me, that's probably a good reason why he's not going to be entering season, 9 or 10 or whatever it could be.
It would be season 10.
Okay.
Plus, there's also speculation by his agent that Rob Gronkowski could come back sometime during the year.
Okay, so he's going to pick and choose.
Because the Patriots have put him on the reserved retired list.
All right. Well, they also realize that they need to kind of lengthen the leash a little bit, maybe. Okay, is this a guy you want hanging around? Maybe they've chosen he's not the best to have hang around. Well, maybe they could pick him when they need him.
Well, part of the discussions that he's had with his agent, and they had planned on possibly just sitting out preseason. But he's not. He didn't want to do that. He's not the kind of guy that would sit out preseason. He's not. You can say what he's goofy. He's a party animal. He's this. He's that. But I give the guy all the props in the world. He is a stone cold hammer monster football player.
Okay.
Period. He is a football playing fool because he loves to play football.
Naturally gifted athlete.
Yeah.
Can we go with that?
Yeah. Naturally gifted and naturally gifted, and he has.
Because he's waking up. Because he's waking up the day after the party during the season and going, you know what? I'm still a beast, and I'm okay with that. Maybe I could be better. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But to me, again, it's not the recipe for the guy who should that you should set the standards on. I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, his numbers. I guess he's a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast. You can all say that. The guy's numbers are legit. Titles, whatnot. Point is, I don't know. I'm not starting a franchise with a guy like Gronkowski. It's just not my guy.
I can tell you what, okay, because some of the stories he's told and some of the things that we've seen in his Instagram antics and things like that, like after they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl, he was out partying until like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's him. 30, 40 years ago, maybe this was the more of the mainstream in sports. You heard the stories. Baseball players drinking till whatever time.
Babe Ruth.
Football guys.
Mickey Mantle.
Wrestlers. Andre the Giant would drink, 2 cases of beer before every match?
You got to stay hydrated.
Of course. So he had a lot of body mass. So
let me tell you a little story about a guy who could really drink and who could wrestle drunk. Okay, just rumors, but I don't know if you remember a guy named Dick Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dick Murdoch, old school Texas guy, really great. One of my favorites because as he got older, he became nuttier. He was a menacing cowboy to begin with. But
did they have a son then wrestle too after he did?
No, that was Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes had two sons as wrestling.
No, I know Rhodes did, but I thought
I don't think there was a Dick Murdoch Jr. But Dick could put it away. I know because I've been around veterans who worked with him for a long time, and they told me some Dick drinking beer jokes.
Some stories about Dick.
Yeah, some stories about Dick.
Careful.
But Dick was a drinker. There's a lot of guys that were drinkers in pro wrestling. But it's really funny, man. That red light comes on in the camera.
It's on.
Boom, it's on.
Oh, listen, some people can do it. Yeah, functional drunks. You know,
Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
Babe Ruth played drunk. Don't even act like he didn't play drunk or hungover or both.
Yeah, probably both. Yeah. Well, they had kegs in the dugout. I'm sure.
Drinking beer.
All right, so back to
game.
Gronk. Listen, not a knock. I wish him the best. I'm sure his next ventures are going to be fun, to say the least, and hopefully successful. But what if he gets bored with what if the next venture doesn't go as well as football did? And what if he loses interest, at some point?
Well, listen, my thought and theory is look around Game 6, Game 7 in the regular season, especially if the Patriots don't draft the next tight end, because we got Hockenstein and Fant and all these great Midwestern tight ends coming out that are supposed to be mid to lower first-round draft choices. Perfect for the Patriots. Perfect. They take one of those guys at 31 there. They got their guy. They got their replacement guy. At least they put in for the replacement guy.
Do me a favor.
What?
Next time you say Hockenstein, let me know. It got across the table. I don't think you knew, but
I didn't think it cleared the crossbar. But
go ahead.
But they're in perfect position to pick his replacement. They really are. Plus, they also have Martellus Bennett.
Yeah,
who's thinking about coming out of retirement so he can play on the same team as his brother?
Yeah,
because they just picked up Michael Bennett.
Yeah,
so there's that.
Okay, so
I win.
Gronk, I kind of win too. I think. I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to get it. I think he clearly will, but I don't think it's solely on.
But
statistics.
Terrell Davis, like year 6, year 7.
No, I believe he's first ballot. I honestly do.
First ballot, 5 years, boom.
I really do. But again, only because it's going to be. Although think about this, will he beat? Well, see, what if Brady plays 3 more years? So he'll be the first one in, essentially, from this group of whatever.
Well, and listen, Brady's his big brother. Okay, he is. Brady has been his big brother since the minute he started playing at 20.
Yes,
he was 20 years old. He was like 2 weeks into his 20th year when he reported. I
remember him starting late. Yeah. I think he played a lot of basketball. I think was his sport.
Well, at 6'7", don't you think?
Yeah, but in any case, listen. There's a lot of angles. I tend to think again because it's more of a conglomerate of players, 3 or 4, and a coach, that they'll all be in there at some point.
I can't argue with you. All right, fine then. We're done arguing.
Cool.
We both think he's going to go, and you think he's going to be a first ballot. I think you might have to wait till the second ballot because, like I said,
it's going to be close.
But I'm saying production per game. When he was in the game and he was healthy and he was an unstoppable force for that team. If you needed 3rd and 8, he got you 12. Mm-hmm. If it was first down and it was play action, you were going right down that fucking seam to big number 87. All you got to do is clear about 7 feet in the air.
Yeah, he can get it.
And he can get it. Yeah. He'll go get it.
It was a mismatch. That was the thing about him. He was the first of the tight one. I'd say the first of the tight ends, but he was clearly one of the few tight ends with size, speed, can dominate any part of the field, and can go get any ball. Yeah.
Well, sure. And what you have is the former basketball players. Yeah. With Tony Gonzalez, with Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates played no college football for 3 years. He played college basketball.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony Gonzalez played 2 years of college football at Cal.
Yeah.
He was a basketball player. Yeah. I was like, when I first saw him play football, it was Cal UCLA. I happened to be watching. It was late night, middle of the night, watching through one eyeball. Watching an 11:30, 12 o'clock at night.
Who's this really big, fast, skinny kid? Right,
he's catching seam jobs. He's catching seam jobs and taking off. And he's 6'6". He's towering over these safeties who are 6 foot tall.
It was freaky.
And I was like, and they're like, yeah. And then they keep showing basketball highlights. I'm like, That's the guy. They were in the NCAA. They made the Sweet 16 one year while he was in there. So I was like, that's that guy. So the former basketball player and the really tall multi-sport guys are really making their mark now.
Yeah, they're transcending that position for sure.
And I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I really do. Okay, anything else?
Not football related. I think it's still fun to talk football, but there's other stuff we can chat about that's more relevant.
And there's other. Well, the owners' meeting was today.
Yes.
They're discussing all kinds of rule changes.
Yes.
All kinds of silly shit, like trying to get rid of the onside kick. So in the fourth quarter, you can take, after scoring a touchdown and an extra point, you can. They will. I think the rule that they're proposing is you line up at their 15-yard line, and you get one shot to score instead of an onside kick. And if you don't, then the other team takes over from wherever you are. In other words, you throw an incomplete pass, the other team takes over on the 15.
Yeah, eyeball test right away. Yuck.
Smell it.
Terrible.
What's that? What is that smell?
That's a terrible rule.
That's not in that. That's not at McCafe crap, right?
No, that's something
let me check.
over here.
No.
Maybe I should have used the pillow.
No, it's not me.
No, it's awful. That's a bad rule.
It's a horrible rule.
Yeah, it's really
bad. But they've got all kinds of, they're starting to come up with the parameters of challenged penalties, which I like. I like the idea of challenging a pass interference penalty. I like the idea of challenging a roughing penalty because you know as well as I do, a couple of times last year, there was some roughing the passer where you put your weight on the guy and, it lost guys. It lost, it lost a guy for the Dolphins. It lost Hayes. It lost, it's ridiculous.
What seems to happen is when there's a really bad call that everybody can agree is a bad call, they tend to multiply and they tend to get noticed and they tend to get, pretty much everybody's waiting for the next one. And
Right.
It comes, it seems.
Right.
You know what? Overall, it's an imperfect game and there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get called clearly that could, just like there's, I'm sure, on the other side, like stuff that does get called that shouldn't. Maybe one challenge per game, I think, maybe may make a difference. But, it's going to be really hard to micromanage every part of every mistake in this game.
Well, listen, the game has gotten too fast for these middle-aged to elderly part-time referees, okay? The call is going out now. Everybody that I've heard speak on this, they're all calling for full-time referees with screening, eye tests, reflex tests, physical tests.
Why shouldn't they be better and pay them more? It makes no sense why they're not. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
High-speed, high-collision game where the plays are now getting higher at a high enough quickness and speed rate to where they're hard to call. It's as simple as that. So instead of having guys that are 35 to 70, okay, Ed Hockley was a referee for 26 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but you look at Ed, and you look at Ed right now. Ed's in better shape than both of us put together.
Can you imagine going to an athlete in college that may have gotten hurt, let's say, knows that he can't finish his career and maybe follow his dream to be a pro athlete?
Trained to be a referee.
And have a referee program where the NFL's paying these guys $150K a year, max benefit packages, retirement. These guys know that it's just like getting into any government job or any other job. You pay your time for 20 years and you're done.
Full-time pro referees.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
You're such an integral part of such a major part of our culture. We're not even talking about, a particular type of food store, drugstore. No, this is what people watch and spend money on. This livelihoods are at stake potentially. Right. It's a huge thing.
Look at this. Look at the city of New Orleans. You blow one call, and a whole fucking city loses their mind. Okay, we're talking 2 million people were really upset at that one guy who blew a wide open, full camera. There was nobody else. There's no other angle. You were 20 feet away, and you went, "No, that's not pass interference."
Yeah, well, listen, be careful, because I don't want to draw any parallels between
or he did this
mistakes on the field and
what?
Listen, it's not fair to draw mistakes on the field to fanaticism. That's what the first part of the word fan is. Well, listen, you can't burn down a city because a ref made a mistake. I'm not saying the Saints did that. I'm just drawing it out to an extreme.
It was close.
Maybe. But, okay, listen, I've thrown a few remotes at bad calls, but I think that should be the extent of violence at
you have a big, expensive TV. Don't throw things at it.
I don't throw it at the TV. I try and aim at other things.
The cat.
Not the TV.
Stupid cat.
I wish I had a cat to throw a remote at. So, but I don't. So
that'd be a really fast cat too. That cat would hear. God damn it, and leave the room. Bye.
We're dog lovers, so we don't have cats.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I have an itchy eyeball. Everybody caught my itchy eyeball.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing this all night like this because the Gonzo Radio Network is going to be expanding even more really, really soon. And the Gonzo Radio Show at 8 p.m. coming up, which I will be here manning the mouse again. Thanks, Bo. Thanks a lot. I hope you're watching this. I hope you're watching this as you're getting ready for your really cool job. He's a sound and lighting guy, and he got a gig on like a TV show or something.
He's allowed.
Yeah, we like Bo.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we take things to a break, come back, and then we'll work our way into your walk-off. We'll talk about the fun of the upcoming baseball season.
We got a little bracket talk if you want to.
A little bracketology. Yeah, we'll start with that. We'll start with the bracketology.
Cool.
And then we'll work our way out and around. We were actually I've got it arranged on the rundown here before, but I want to take a friggin' break.
See ya.
I'm getting tired.
We'll be back.
It's my finger.
I got to stretch my neck.
You got to stretch. You're a crazy man for being here. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
He's playing hurt, baby. He's playing hurt.
No,
that's professionalism right there.
I am at 61% officially.
All right. Well, we're gonna commiserate with your busted brackets, and we're gonna talk baseball on the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk right after this. I'm getting better at my own job. Isn't it great? Back at the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. I'm still getting... it'll start coming naturally. This is like, what, our fifth show now? Fourth show?
Sixth, I believe.
Sixth show?
Yeah.
For those of you out there, if you like the show, you love the show, by all means, like and subscribe down below. We need to get more subscribers on the network so that we can expand our shows, and definitely share it around to your friends if they have sports interest, or you're a member of any sports groups, or you know any sports nuts. Eventually, I'm going. Are you even on the Gonzo Radio page on YouTube?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes, log on. Rookies. Yeah, log on to the YouTube page. You're not on the camera.
Right
it's
now.
Okay. You're not on the camera. You're okay.
I want to be on camera though.
No camera for you.
I'm best on camera.
Yeah, you're best on camera. Listen, you're just marginally prettier.
Where
than
am
me.
I supposed to go?
On the Gonzo Radio YouTube channel.
Okay.
That should be bookmarked.
All right.
That should be your whole fucking life right now.
I'm bookmarking it right now.
I mean everything.
I had
you miss a meal.
Here's the thing. I had it bookmarked, but then I opened the book, and the mark fell out. The bookmarker part. Do they still use bookmarkers? Anybody use bookmarkers anymore?
This is what happens when you take on a sports guru, a sports nut, who's a sabermetrics lunatic, and,
Weirdo,
and knows all the minutia. We work at the same place. We work together, so we get in little sports tidbits here and there, and he just will pop off with a stat. I'm like, and then I'll grab my phone and be like,
I really have a lot of sports knowledge,
right.
but I'm really bad at like technology stuff. I'm sorry.
Well, and you're going to have to get better at it.
I'm ready to learn. Is there anybody out there that can help me? Please call me at.
You have a teenage daughter.
No, she's not a teenager yet.
What, she 12?
Force it. She's almost
12?
Almost 12. She's 11 and a half.
11 and a, oh, 11 and a half. The half is important.
Almost 11 and a half.
Well, then have her.
But she
help
definitely
you.
knows a lot more than I do.
Well, and your wife knows more.
That's not even that's a given.
That's a given. I mean, that's kind of her job, right?
Yeah, well, it's just easy.
Tell her to sit you down and tell her to take a ping pong paddle, and every
Right.
time you fuck up, you smack
I
you in the back
promise
of the head.
you next time that I will be fully Facebook ready.
Well, I mean, okay. Now your Instagram page is what? At what? At Damaz?
Damaz.
At Damazz.
Correct. That's my Twitter, not Instagram.
That's your Twitter. What's your Instagram?
I don't really have an Instagram.
Get a fucking Instagram account.
It's next on the list too. I promise you by the next time I'm here, I'm going to have an Instagram account too.
I saved all this because I wanted to publicly shame him.
I know.
Because I told him, I said, get your shit together.
I know why you did this. I'm on board.
Yeah. Nobody's ever on board.
Who did you pick for your bracket? Who's your winner?
Bracket. Bracket. Of course I picked Gonzaga.
Oh, and then they're left.
They're left.
You're alive.
Oh, yeah.
You're
well,
alive.
of course Gonzaga, because, we are the, Gonzaga radio show.
That's where you got I was always wondering where you got the name from.
I just picked it out of thin air.
That's incredible.
Well, and a lot of people, because and we do discuss politics from time to time too.
We don't agree. But
we don't agree.
Not
but
even close.
But you're one of those people that confuses me for a Democrat or a liberal, but I'm actually a centrist, and I laugh at everybody who goes back and forth, and I don't buy into any one given ideology, and people make that mistake thinking that, Gonzo's into this and Gonzo's into that. No, Gonzo isn't into anything, so don't make that mistake. But I tend to side with the underdogs. And in this instance, with the other teams involved, we got 4 number ones in?
Currently, there are 4 number ones in, yes. But for the 16. So there's only 25% chance, technically by math. But realistically, the ones are in a pretty good spot.
Well, still.
No, I did not pick a number one to win the entire thing.
Well, who's your overall pick, though?
I have Tennessee winning, actually.
Right.
And there are 3. There are 2. There are 2.
Well, wait. I've got a meme that's perfect. This is my meme right here, which would be the 2017 NCAA tournament bracket. But it seems that there's always that one guy that just goes Duke, 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 all the way to Duke.
Yes, of course.
That unfortunately is me, because I've seen the monster that they are.
Yeah, well, obviously Duke's there every year, and there's a reason. So talent-wise, and Zion and the whole rest of the gang,
Coach K, as far as I'm concerned, is, if not the greatest college coach of all time. Okay, he's right there with John Wooden. It's him, it's John Wooden, and then Coach K. To me, Wooden, Krzyzewski.
I'm going to bow my head.
Why?
I hate these arguments about the best coach. I don't know the coach in the small gym in Indiana that has 7 kids on his team, that works as a mailman or a captain of a police, of a volunteer,
Division III,
fireman.
JUCO.
I hate these. By accolades, yes. By champions, yes. But you know what he has to do once the season is over? Answer the phone. And he probably doesn't even have to do that. He has somebody answer it for him.
Ooh, Coach K?
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's got a phalanx. He's got an army of people.
By the way, you're great. Where are you going? Duke. By the way, you're great. Where are you going? Duke.
Well, let me tell you one thing. One and done has to be done.
No, I'm not knocking Coach K. All right, I'm not the guy to say it also, too. He's not a great coach. He's probably, in some form, you can quantify he's one of the best ever. Sure. But, it's just every time I hear those best evers, it just makes me want to.
Best.
I don't like it. Is this on? I just don't like it.
It's on. I just turned it all the way down so nobody can hear you.
I don't like it. I don't like the best ever.
That's what happens when you give me control.
So,
you disagree with me. Oh, yeah. How's that working out for you? Mama. Yeah, okay. Well,
okay.
No.
So, Duke, yes, Duke is still there.
Wow, your microphone was really, really high when I put it back.
16 teams left.
Right. Well, let me ask you a real. Okay, let me ask you an important question. Right. Well, actually, important questions. You saw the end of the Duke UCF game.
I'll be honest, I did not. Highlights only.
You saw the highlights.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I watched the last 5 minutes of it.
Right.
I watched like the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes.
Right.
And I'm kind of appalled. UCF deserved to win that game. Okay. But the refs, quote, let them play. And a lot of the stuff that happened at the end of that game, body up fouls, things of that nature, were let slide. They were let go.
Yeah, like you said, towards the end of the game, typically that's how that goes. And once one call gets past a ref, there's a second call that gets past a ref. And then you start to build that sort of theme to close out maybe that particular game. You see it all. I see it in the pros too.
Right.
But certainly in college, you don't. And again, the adage is you don't want a call to decide a game.
Right.
I mean, that's just, and unfortunately, there isn't enough faith in the referees to make the accurate call, perception or not, reality or not, to be able to maybe have to decide on a game when that game needs to be decided on. This is what they do. They're referees. Players don't decide the outcomes necessarily, and I'm talking about when it comes to rules and managing the game. Coaches don't, fans don't, the TV contracts don't. It's the four guys on the court. They're the guys that
you're starting to get a little ranty.
All right, I'm getting ready for the baseball. There's four guys on the court essentially, and it's in football, same thing. 6, 7, 8 guys, whatever it is. So let these guys do their job. Okay, put them in position, so let them do their job.
Well, okay. Well, my bottom line, because we're going to close this and get to the rant portion, the walk off.
Yeah.
Because people are going to start filling in around you here shortly.
Okay.
I showered. We have an 8 o'clock show.
I showered.
Yeah, God knows you showered.
Yeah.
But the bottom line on it, and UCF had opportunities. All they had to do was hit a bucket. All they had to do was make a basket, and they had a couple of shots to make a basket to take the lead and to win it, to win it at the end. Mm-hmm. They were also needed to make that bucket, but the referees did not help the cause.
No, not at all.
It was a little helpy.
Here's what I'm going to say about
not
UCF.
Not that Duke needed help.
And why this helps them. By the way, UCF is on the map. Look at the football program.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now the basketball program going possibly a one possession away from beating Duke.
And going to the Sweet 16.
Think about what that does for that program. So
kudos
to UCF.
Sure, and they got Johnny Dawkins as a head coach.
Yeah.
Okay, also a Coach K disciple.
Yeah.
And another reason why I like Coach K so much is because you look at him at the end of that game consoling crestfallen and crying teenage kids on the other team. Okay, consoling because that guy loves basketball.
Yeah.
And he loves basketball players, and he loves making grown men out of these boys that come off of high school basketball courts. That's one reason why I want one and done. It's like, make up your mind. Go to the pros at 18, or you're here for 4 years.
Yeah, and
get a fucking education.
Sure, get a degree. Other things too. One last thing about UCF. The only thing I can't stand about UCF, this is a problem. They built it too close to I-4. Now, they should move it to like over by US 27. Think about how much nicer it would be to get to the basketball games now and the football games. And have you ever been on I-4?
Yeah, I've had the pleasure. Remember, I used to be a pro wrestler. I used to travel up and down I-4 to get to some of those towns.
They got to move either Disney or the college. They got to decide.
Well, it's gonna be the college then.
Yeah, so.
All right, so let's get to the real meaty stuff here. Let me go ahead and call it up here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this March Madness thing, and let's get you started. Let's get you on the screen. Bam.
Hey.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
And let's get ready for the walk-off. Are you ready? Are you warmed
baseball.
up?
Yeah, I'm ready. Baseball season starts on Thursday.
Crack your knuckles. Get right. Get tight.
Here we go.
Okay.
Opening day, Thursday, folks.
Opening day.
Are we ready?
He's so excited.
Are you ready?
Yes, sure.
I think they start at 1 o'clock first game.
Yes.
Now, there's, like you said, there's been 2 official games so far in Tokyo.
So far.
But baseball season starts Thursday.
Right.
I haven't gotten a response yet back from my senators and stuff. I've been sending letters out for weeks now.
Those bastards.
I want to
About
declare
what?
it. Well, I want to make Thursday a national holiday.
Oh.
So banks closed, schools closed.
Makes sense.
Stuff like that. Major highways rerouted, stuff like that. But
Makes sense to me.
it's probably not going to happen this year.
But
Here's my rant about baseball.
yeah, because you have one particular player in mind.
Yeah. Well, again, baseball news. The most important signing. Again, we had a full off season of
Well, we've had
signings.
three
The Machado,
huge.
the Harper.
Yep.
Now perhaps the best player in baseball got his deal.
The hugest.
Mike Trout.
Boom.
700 years, $400 billion, something
Oh,
like
look at that swing.
Okay.
What a monster.
You know what? The money at this point doesn't matter. It's a lot. It's the most ever. It's
Sure.
the highest paid athlete to this point now. What does that say about the Angels? Okay, where are they right now? Mike Trout, 7 of the last 8 years, has finished first or second in MVP voting. Okay,
Deservedly so.
they've made the playoffs one time. It's on the Angels right now to, something I've gone back over and over again about baseball and the inability for the sport to promote itself. Nobody right now is still watching the best player in baseball. And unfortunately, if they do decide to tune in, they're going to be watching Trevor Cahill throw out the first pitch for the Angels. Now, wait. Now, this isn't a knock on Trevor Cahill.
No, what? Trevor Cahill.
Dude's a journeyman. Been around a long time. His peripherals are good. I can bore you with XFIP and FIP and ERA and all that good stuff.
That's okay. He bores us as it is.
But he's a journeyman, been around a while, and I don't think that if you have a blueprint for your organization for game one looking forward is to have your season start with Trevor Cahill. So what I'm saying, please, baseball and the Angels, build a team for this guy. I want to see this guy play in October. I want to see this guy play when the games matter. Your best player in baseball, and not does anybody know who he is, but he's not playing in October. He's not playing when the games count. So this is for the Angels. Sign some players. Go get some pitching.
Pitchers.
Do something. Get something going in the organization. Don't rest on the contract. Do baseball a service. Do your fans a service. Do all of baseball fans a service. Build a winning team. Get this guy so we can watch him play baseball. Watch your best player in the entire league play in the postseason when it counts.
Yeah.
Be nice to see him in October.
It would be really nice to see him in October, and he's got a pretty good lineup around him, with the exception of was it Upton that got hurt? Who got hurt?
Justin
recently?
Upton is their second best player.
Yeah, and he just took a ball off a foul ball off the knee.
He went into the wall, crashed his knee. This is a guy that was already hurt coming in the spring.
Right.
He had tendonitis in his knee coming into spring.
Right.
So to me, I don't want to be coming into the spring before the season starts with tendonitis in my knee. It's not a good start.
Yeah, well, and
worried about the Angels this year. I just don't want them to rest on the contract. I mean, it's going to be a terrible.
It's early yet.
It's going to be I don't know what the Vegas over/under is for their team total wins, but I can guarantee that they're not predicted to go to the playoffs this year. They've been an 80-win team the last 2 years. So that's what we got. That's my rant.
So
Angels, fix yourselves. Make your fans proud. Make baseball proud.
Get the boy some help.
Please support your best guy.
I mean, he's got Fat Albert out there, but I mean, Albert Pujols is, he's like what? He's like 104 years old now.
He's 103 and a half.
Right.
With a legit birth certificate too. He really is 103 and a half.
Right. I think he was playing. He was playing. He was playing when who was that cowboy that used to own the Angels? Gene Autry. Yeah, I think he was playing when Gene Autry was still.
Okay, yeah, that cowboy.
He's still. Rod Carew, I think, was leading off when he was in his first or second year. So,
yeah, true.
He's been playing for forever. So, okay, get him some help. Well, okay, that was a really good walk-off. Very nice, young man. Good job by you.
Please.
And look at that. And we're going to get out of here by 7:45. A nice tight 45. Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Once again, make sure you go on, and that's at Demaz on Twitter.
Yes.
And then you can, of course, check us out on Facebook, the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk, on Facebook, on the group, the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk, at Gonzo Radio Sports Desk on Instagram, which I will be giving you administrative control of soon. And, of course, stay tuned. What?
I'm ready. No, I'm ready.
You're ready. He's ready.
I'm ready to get all my Facebook stuff right.
All right. And stay tuned for the Gonzo Radio Show coming up at 8 p.m. in about 14 and a half minutes. So from myself, Big Daddy Gonzo, thank you very much for watching. And on behalf of the Maz, Matt, here, say goodnight to the nice people.
Good night, nice people.
All three of you. Yes, because we don't need nice viewers. We will see you guys next week. I believe we're going to have a guest, a comedian and sports enthusiast. He's been on the big show, and now he's going to come down here and slum it with us sports nuts. Mr. Randy Vega is going to join us next week. We're going to talk a little pro wrestling, which I know is right up your alley, right?
Love wrestling.
All righty. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.